What's going on, y'all? It's J Swell Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man. Bring you guys today more of a general topic, right? Going into the WOTY panel, going down this weekend. There's been a lot of talk, obviously a lot of more money raised at the last second. We're going to talk about the new, kind of historic pot that we have for Woman of the Year this year. I also want to get some takes on some names quickly, that I think will make the list. I'm not going to give a whole 15 here, right? But some names that I think deserve to make some recognition on the list, hope to see on there. And I'll give my own top 5 to kind of explain in detail who I have as my WOTY pick, because I don't want to, a lot of people throwing stones right now, a lot of campaigning, and with praising people comes people trying to belittle those cases to up their person's case. So much debate going on right now around battle rap, which I love, particularly a full year of women's battle rap. And there's more than a few things to talk about, man. So let's get right into it. First thing to talk about is the amount of money, because the WOTY pot after yesterday, it was around $6K, right? I think earlier in the day. And then the ladies of campaign Hustle, Coffee, Jazz, people on their behalf. I believe Geechee Gotti, Rum Nitty, Jim Jones, we're putting out posts saying to go vote for Hustle. You look at Jazz. Jazz got John to Don, you know what I'm saying? I think Suge gave his endorsement to somebody. Coffee Brown got some endorsements from a couple people. I could go on and on and on. It's incredible, you know what I'm saying, to see the women really taking it seriously. What did that result in? A WOTY pot that has more than $10,000 in it. Over $10,000 is going to go to the winner this year, which I haven't seen a pot like that for anything champion related since around 2017, 2018, in the initial few champion of the years before WOTY, and people were getting about 10K a pot, little over. I think maybe give or take a K in 2018. I think it went over the pot a little bit. So it's been a minute, and it's good to see out of genuine support you get this. And it's because it's a close race this year. There's genuinely two juggernauts that can win it, with a third dark horse candidate. Not going to trick you in terms of what the top 3 is. I'll give you my order, though. But before we get into that, my 5, want to say a couple names. I won't even say order-wise that I want to see. First is Chirac. I think Chirac put in a lot of work in 2023, and if you're not super tapped into all the workings of female battle rap, if you watch maybe the surface level, the big battles, understand, like any level of battle rap. I'm not going to, get at someone because they don't watch every level, but Chirac has been putting in work that might go unnoticed, but has to be, right? If you look at her battle with Tony Blanco, I did have her on the losing end on Chrome, but in my opinion, it's probably the best back and forth women's battle this year. Woman versus woman, thought that was incredible. She battled Casey J, got her beating Casey J. Casey wasn't clean in that battle. Few things to talk about. I feel like I've heard some people just kind of give it to Casey. Happened on Shark Tank. Maybe not everyone caught it, just figured that Casey won. But Chirac, the argument she won that battle. She 30'd damn near Lady Caution. Obviously, that part of that was her cleanliness, but Chirac was good in that battle. Just a few things. I want to make sure she gets her props. And then 2 people that didn't battle much, but I thought made a lot of impact this year is Shayna Ashley, who smoked up, the 2 competitors. She had Rosenberg, 30, body bag style, Torido. Obviously, Torido was so bad, right, and did the bullshit that you don't even realize that Shayna was kicking her fucking teeth in those first 2 rounds as well. So I hope Shayna gets her look. And then last one I want to mention before getting to 5 is First Lady Flames. A lot of respect for her, and I just think that right now she's one of the actual best talents in women's battle rap. Maybe she's not always booked like that. She did get some opportunities this year, C3, although not her best battle. She won that battle, in my opinion, and it was a bigger-esque opportunity, but what she did to Caution, crazy. I believe she battled Eliza Versa, was her 3rd battle. And then even if you go to last year, obviously that doesn't have to do with this, or the year before last year, 2022, when she battled My Verse. I don't know, I just see the peaks from her. I know that she's not always getting booked that often, but I think First Lady Flames is one of the best that the ladies have to offer. So her, Shayna, Chirac, outside of my 5, somewhere in that 15. I ain't going to, we're going to see how the panel does. And shout out to the panel as well. Obviously, being a part of the last couple of Cody panels, I know it's not an easy job. And I know these ladies have their work cut out for them. Shout out Rita. Shout out Ty, LTBR, home team. You guys are going to hold it down. But with that being said, those are my picks that I want to see make the 15, give a shout out to. Now I want to get in my top 5, man. And at number 5, I do have Casey J. That's the lady I'll have leading off my top 5. And I feel like she's just had another solid year. Obviously, I don't think there's been talk about Casey being up in the list or anything like that. Her trajectory doesn't go there. And the times that she pops out, she just does her job. Mozzie on rookies, the final exams, basically rookies versus vets in a sense, right? Bodies him, makes a highlight out of him versus DNA. They have battle in the night on Kings versus Queens. Granted, she was on the losing side. It was a rare form DNA, but Casey's second, fantastic. Some of these are peaks Granted, it's a loss, but how many of these ladies could even really hang with DNA and give them that good of a battle on stage, right? So I give that more of a plus than anything. Obviously, Chirac battle, I did not have her winning that battle, so that's what kind of counts against her. Maybe stops her from jumping up to the 4 spot. And then her versus Shuni the Rapper might be her biggest accomplishment on the year. Many people consider that one of the top lady versus lady battles. I thought while Shuni's material was good, she wasn't clean. Granted, Casey wasn't that clean either, but she was cleaner. They were both good, so I ended up giving Casey that win, and with the way people herald that battle, getting the W side of that I think is a big look. For me, that's enough work. And on top of that, the respect on her name to even get called for the Kings versus Queens events and such. She's obviously still considered one of the bigger, not the biggest, right? We have names to get to, but one of the bigger draws and names in female battle rap. Her impact is felt, and for me, 5 is a great place for her. And then there's number 4, someone that I heard a couple people trying to say that she should be in the convo. I don't agree, but I think she's very firmly in the 4 spot, and that is QB Black Diamond. I think definitely she's earned her way in this top 5, and I know that her last impression of the year is a losing effort in what was a pretty good battle with E. Hart. E. Hart gives one of the best female performances of the year, kind of clears her out, especially in the second round. Made a little bit of a highlight of it, right? But I thought QB was decent in that battle. That's going to be the main thing that goes against her. But besides that, she took caution, you know what I'm saying, on RBE at a time when, you know, Caution's taken a few losses now where her stature isn't where it was when she had her Rookie of the Year trajectory. But QB gave her one of those first L's that kind of changed things. That was actually one of her best bar for bar performances. She got crazy with Caution. Then from there, RX, clean win, not the craziest battle, but, you know, keeping it clean. And then Robin Rhymes as well. And Charlie Clips in the full circle, which, you know, Clips kind of sabotages the battle by doing his Mr. Chuckles version. You know what I'm saying? That was definitely a Mr. Chuckles appearance. But QB was pretty good. So, you know, it's tough because Clips is giving out donation battles. You could argue a lot of cases would be better if we're counting Clips wins heavy. But even if you're not counting it heavy, you know what I'm saying? Like me, I think it's just a solid win. That's a group of solid wins. The Caution win being great. And then you turn around the E-Heart battle you're on the losing side of. But I still think it's a good effort. And one of the better female versus female battles of the year. So for me, there's a lot of consistency in there. Held it down on RB in a time that RB had a huge impression on the year. She was on a lot of those blue room cards. So got to give QB my respects and have her at number 4. That leaves us with the final 3, right? And this is the big discussion. You know, I've talked, given my flowers to a bunch of other ladies that I thought had a good year, but I know that everyone's really, you know, wants to know how people feel about these 3. At number 3, I do have Coffee Brown. I do think Coffee is good in that number 3 spot. A big part of that is still that she had a great year. Particularly, I think her strength of schedule is the second best out of the big 3 here that are in the run for the award, right? I think that having that 40 bars in Geechee and plus the environment she took them in. She took 40 bars in the ring on Queen of the Ring. She took Geechee main event of his league. Even when she took Twerk, big stage type of affair, took him in a situation that's most advantageous for him. So strength of schedule is definitely there. For the most part, there's good results here, man. The Snake Eyes battle, had her clearly winning that in a really good showing. Geechee, I had her edge in the Geechee battle, big part. I didn't love her performance, you know what I'm saying, which is kind of where this hurts her in the 40 and the Geechee battle. I don't think that they're standout showings, like she's dropping crazy quotables, but I think they're solid showings where her opponent maybe has a couple lapses in their game. And at the end of the day, sometimes that's how you got to win, man. Sometimes you're going to win because you were just a little bit more consistent than your opponent, and I don't think that should go against you. But like I said, material-wise, performance-wise, you want to count a little against her there, that's cool. But I got her beating 40. I got her beating Geechee. I got her beating Snake. She obviously beat Shuni the Rapper 3-0. They both choked in the second. But then even her round was better in that second. So those are good highs. Now, she did get smoked by Twerk, and that's what's pretty much going to keep her here at 3, to be honest with you. These other 2 ladies, although I do have them losing 1, if not 2 battles, you know, depending on which one you're talking about, you got to take into the fact that the Twerk loss was the most dominant. Those are more debatable-esque losses. There are people that are going to fight you, but even if there's not that many people that are going to fight you, there's usually good performances in there. I thought she was decent material-wise versus Twerk, but clearly she had some things to work out memory-wise, delivery-wise, and outside of some highs in the second, I thought it was a rough day in the office for her and really damn near a body bag loss, to be honest with you. So Great year for Coffee, and honestly understandable. She said, first time back in a minute, my return battles New Jersey twerk on a stage. A stage hasn't even been on the stage that much, if at all, right? A big stage. So things were hard for her in that battle. She bounced back after that tough return and then immediately made highlights of it, and if you just look at where her stock is right now, that's because of her hard work. That's because of her improvements, in my opinion, as a battler. And while I do have her at 3, I don't have her in the race, like in terms of really winning it. I think that she's had an incredible year, and there's only praises for the most part that I can give to Coffee Brown. And then the discussion comes down to Hustle versus Jazz, just like it did last year, right? And just like it seems to be for almost everything. These two have battled before, going back to SM3, and I'll say it because I've been tweeting it. I've been saying it for a minute. We need that rematch. We need it. There's not a lot of rematches that we need. Actually, there's I don't know if there's any others besides this one that I'm thinking of that I'm like, damn, bro, like I really can't keep going without this. These two still years later, not only are they probably easily the two best women alive in female battle rap, right? But they are maybe the two best ever. There's a real debate for that this is maybe 1 and 2 of the best of all time, and they're at their peak right now. They were at their first peak before, but now they're better than they've ever been. God forbid, if these belts get split up, they can have the belt versus the belt optic. This is a mega match. This is truly a blockbuster. SMs, Gnomes, it's going to headline another card. I just have to say that I want to see it. But in terms of who I have as my WOTY for the year, I will say category-wise, I didn't do these for the rest, but it's important for me to say this for the winner because everyone looks over the categories. They'll kind of explain it the way I did, where they're just like, I like this battle over this one. I prefer this high over this one. I think a lot of arguments can be settled that way. But when you look at the top, I just want to make sure, I'm dotting my I's and crossing my T's. And I do have the criteria is 3-3, the 6-part Cody/WOTY criteria. I do have impact going to Jazz the Rapper, the draw she is. There's just a certain noise she makes. Obviously, Miss Hustle has a lot of impact on her own, but I don't think anyone, or at least you can disagree if you want. I don't want to say I don't think anyone will, but I think that Jazz, in terms of impact and how much people pay attention to every move, just it's kind of tough because she'll naturally always have that, but that happens a lot in Cody with the likes of Geechee Gotti's when Sue Surf made it. There is a natural impact, but I'm not going to count against the battler because they have that impact, right? I also give material to Jazz the Rapper. I think just straight pen wise, she has had her dips, a couple rounds I didn't like this year. Could say the same for Hustle, though, although she has a cleaner record, which we'll get into in a minute. But as a writer, I've just preferred some of the stuff the Jazz has delivered to us. But then, kind of hinted towards it. Consistency, I give to Miss Hustle. Cleaner record. You know what I'm saying? That just is what it is. More clear wins for the most part. And not as much any stumbling for the most part, any of there. And I'd also give her performance because Hustle is one of not just the best female performers in battle rap, one of the actual best performance-based battlers in the world right now. Big stage, it's a big thing. I don't know, in a potential battle rematch they could have, I think that she's got that edge on Jazz, even though Jazz has a lot of great moments on that stage. But I have it 2-2, right? Hustle, consistency, and performance. I gave Jazz material and impact. I also give Jazz strength of schedule. I just think she's battled the better names for the most part with the Ks, right? So I have her 3-2, and then you have your swing category, which is moments. Moments for me is really hard to give because nobody ever really 100% knows what a moment is, right? Or defines it properly. I think both of them, you could argue it 100%, but me personally, I do think that Hustle might have a couple more on-stage moments for the year for the most part. The beat in her chest versus Tay-Rock, some of those prime clean performances on stage, which she competed on more big stages. So for me, it was 3-3 in criteria. I say all that just to show you the thought process of how it goes down. What do you think for these panels? They don't just do that for 1 and 2. You have to do the whole list. You have to do 11 and 12 compared, 12 and 10, and do all those categories. That's the criteria, not just saying things. So I wanted to give the full thought process of how I got to a category. But sometimes it happens to be tied anyway, so I still have to go with personal preference and separation. And my pick for the 2023 WOTY is Jazz the Rapper. I do have her by an edge taking it. So what's that? I explained all that. And I even said that Hustle is a cleaner record, right? I did have Hustle losing to Eunice, more clear losses, albeit versus a little bit of a lower level of competition, but still have names like Tay-Rock in there, right? What she did to Shuni as well, a name that got good credit when Coffee got the win. And I do have Jazz losing to Kay and Nitty. So I do technically have her with more losses on paper, but material for me and those peaks in material is the difference. I still feel like even with a little bit of dips thirds here and there that don't go according to plan. For the most part, Jazz still won most of her battles, had her beating RX, had her beating Charlie Clips, had her beating New Jersey Twerk, who finished second last year for Champion of the Year, as well as Loso in a one-rounder, so smaller stakes, not as big of a deal, but it's those peaks of material like her first round versus Rum Nitty, which I think is incredible and really is the best round that almost damn near any female battle rapper rapped last year. I look at her first and her third versus New Jersey Twerk, really all three. I liked her performance in that, and I just think material-wise, not performance, I think Hustle's the better performer, but I think in terms of the raps, I'm just still taking Jazz by an edge, and then her impact is always undeniable. Like I said, the rest of it is really close, but just for me, material and what you're writing is a big part of it, and while Hustle had a good year on that, I still think Jazz has the strength in that category and gives it that little bit of an edge for me. Maybe the best win between the two of them, with a clear win over Twerk, who was number 2 for Cody. But you could say for Hustle she has more clear 30s, right, to combat that. I think it is razor sharp. Hell, it would be cool to see Hustle get that belt to match it, right? But if I had to vote, which I did give Jazz my edge for Woman of the Year. But as I said over and over again, man, all these ladies had a great year. I think this award should be going to a New Yorker one way or another. I think Miss Hustle or Jazz the Rapper should be walking away with this. Cannot be mad at all. If there was ever a year where something is 50-50, it's absolutely this one. But somebody's going to get $10,000. Hell, it could even be Coffee if things get crazy enough in that room and people like that Geechee Gotti and 40 win, maybe more than some of their top wins. So many different things to talk about, but it's all highlighting on the greatness of these ladies. And hopefully not only is this going to be a great ceremony, but it sets a great precedent forward for more ladies promoing, getting involved, and getting competitive for this. When battlers are competitive for Cody or competitive for WOTY, you tend to see some of the best runs of their career recently, right? So we can only hope for more of that. But want to say once again, thank you to Black, and specifically when it comes to WOTY, thank you to Rita, getting everything in order, all the ladies that are going to be on that panel debating battle rap, and cannot wait to see what the end result is, the arguments and things of that nature, man. And I will have a video afterwards on my thoughts of what just what happens on there, what picks I like, what picks I don't like, but all respectful dialogue, getting that organization and battle rap, man. But it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. As I said, like, comment, subscribe. Videos coming out about WOTY soon. We'll see if any of the RBE battles drop quick, right? So coverage on the way. I'm gonna catch you on the next one, man. Peace.